Welcome, race fans. It is the first Sunday of the month, and we're sitting here with our monthly Race for Padd event. Padd, People Against Distracted Driving. You can find out more information about Padd at padd.org. And tonight, as we roll around this super speedway, 2.66 mile speedway, we're going to talk a lot about Padd. We're going to learn a lot about Padd, and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about Padd, People Against Distracted Driving. We do this once a month, and tonight is the night. All right, folks, as I mentioned, this is the Speedway of Talladega. Great temperatures out here, 75 degrees. 2.653 miles in length. And we are driving the Camping World Series trucks, the Chevy Silverado and the Toyota Tundras. Got the usual gang of fellers out here tonight, and a few new ones that have come out tonight to sit here and show their support for Padd. Painters have been hard at work getting those trucks painted up and prettied up, showing their support for Nikki Kaleni, Mike Kaleni, and People Against Distracted Driving. Going to be seeing a lot of purple out here tonight, as purple was the favorite color of Nikki Kaleni. God rest her soul. Unfortunately, passed on in a distracted driving incident that was absolutely no fault of her own, done by her friend. And we're going to learn a few ways tonight as to make sure that doesn't happen to us. Drivers have taken in their qualifying times. We're going to take a look at that qualifying field out there on that front line. We have Mark Jackson with a 53.439 side by side with Jack Watts with a 53.472. Very good times on Mark and Jack Watts. Third place belonging to Edward Bray with a 53.475. To his right is Everett Lane with a 53.502, and rounding out the top five is Chris Hogue with a 53.507. Position 6 belonging to Michael Johnson. Lee Staples in 7th. Tristan Beats coming out tonight in position 8. Ben Gear sitting back in 9th position, and rounding out the top 10, Wesley Whitfield. Position 11 belonging to Richard Brose. 12th belonging to J.R. Johnson. David Casey joining us out here tonight in position 13, side by side with Jason Russo. Our Tuesday night sponsor, Nick Reynolds, back in 16th. Gary Whitmer in 17th, and Joel Guy near the rear of the field in position 18. 18 drivers out here tonight to get us started off with 100 laps. All about Padd tonight, ladies and gentlemen. People Against Distracted Driving. As I mentioned, tonight is all about Nikki Kaleni. Several years ago, Nikki was out for a ride in the back seat of her friend's car, and her friend made the unwise decision to pick up the telephone and get on it and do a text message. An unfortunate accident ensued, and Nikki Kaleni lost her life. Obviously, her mother and father was devastated, but tried to find a way to bring some sort of positiveness out of the tragedy. And Mike Kaleni created Padd, People Against Distracted Driving, on a mission to see that not only his friends and the rest of his family, but your friends and my friends are educated about the dangers of distracted driving. These drivers come out once a month to show their support. Jackson, Jack Watts off on that front line. Edward Bray, Everett Lane, Chris Cole. We already got the top 5 tonight. Starts and restarts done. Second gear on the leader's discretion. Kicking off 100 laps here at Talladega. Already seeing the support out here with the pad logos. One on the end of number 3, one on the back end total of number 77. One in the tailgate area of the 66. Everett Lane in 24 showing his support with the engine on the valve. Just about every driver out here tonight will be wearing the valve. Pace car is in. Mark Jackson in the song.
Green flag, green flag.
More separation. 77 outside right. Mark Jackson. Nice, clean start. And lucky race for the car. Good shot out there. Staples. Going to talk about the champion. Her husband, 64, Staples. The red, white, Staples shot on the inside lane. Gray edging up. Near contact with 77, really 3 wide. Yeah, look like that. And Gray, at number 77, John White, 3 wide action, 3 wide. Gray and Everett. Thought Everett was going to get a little bit of help with the 23rd. Michael Johnson really good, double 04. Side went to the wall, so out of it, and wide. Jackson so good up in front, everything down in front of everybody. Mark Jackson leading the outside lane. Everett, Mark, Everett, Chris Hill, brings up and here's our top 4. The inside lane, going in front. Rose Hill, up to the perfect. Chris Hill, through driver in. Plenty of time to get the job done out here. Drivers are looking about a 30-lap fuel window. Patience to hit that window. 30 laps here at Talladega. Take about 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Plenty of time to get the job done. The window to be done in 3 stops, starting 30, 60, and 90. Action developing. Plenty of room out here to go 3 wide. 3 wide near the rear of the field. Richard Brose as well. Big shout out there to Richard Brose. J.R. Johnson joining us, as well as Jack Watts and Nick Reynolds. Looking at the number 52 of Gary Whitmer showing his support for Nicky and the Angels. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. He was in the paint booth today, issuing out an entire new line of pad trucks. He was on the tail end of the number 3 David Fisher. Wesley Whitfield in the number 74. showing his support for Padd, and another over-the-top paints and designs, as well as Mark Jackson. Fresh off the paint line today, Mark Jackson and Wesley Whitfield in positions 4 and 11. Got 11 showing support for Padd. Jack Watts running with Southeast Motorsports. Number 37, J.R. Johnson sliding up to get high. Top paints and designs today issued out 4 to 5 new paint jobs out here for Padd. John Hedrick also busily working on the Halloween paints. Join us at the end of the month for the 4th annual Spooktacular. Get your scary on, ladies and gentlemen. The Slater side by side with the number 37, J.R. Johnson, showing purple rims. Purple was one of the favorite colors of our dearly departed angel, Nikki Fleming. Flirting with that apron a little bit here on side by side of the Richard Rose, outside lane, seemingly not quite got the motion tonight. One Legion going. One driver up there attempting with that 3 wide, but you gotta have a partner there to go 3 wide. Tristan Beats leading his first lap. Tristan Beats getting the number 99 up there to the front. Richard Rose advancing his position up to 3rd position. Everlane leading 7 laps of the 8. 92 to go. Number 99 showing his support for Padd with the purple numbers. Tristan Beats and the Young Guns. Richard Brose advancing his position to the front of the line, leading his first lap of the night. Being pushed on by Southeast Motorsports in the number 54, showing his support for over-the-top paints and designs. You gotta love the purple out here, ladies and gentlemen. On the side of the number 24 is a picture of Nikki Clenny. A lot of drivers coming out once a month to show their support for Padd, People Against Distracted Driving. Find more information out at padd.org. If you'd like to make a donation to Padd, that can be done onto the website. You can purchase t-shirts, wristbands, bumper stickers. Find a lot of great information out there on Padd about ways to keep you and your loved ones safe. There's a couple of good phone applications out there to help you stay away from your phone. Best idea to stay away from that phone is lock it up into your trunk. Very tempting in today's age to go after that telephone. Most telephones are carried in your pocket or in your purse. The men tend to keep it on their side, and you're driving down the road and you reach down, pick it up, glance at it, and bang! You've just rear-ended somebody and possibly killed somebody. I see it every day, ladies and gentlemen. I spend a lot of time on the road going job to job, and at a stoplight I'm sitting there looking at the lady next door, the man next door, thinking they can get a quick text in. Three-wide action developing. Mark Jackson in the middle. Mark Jackson going for a ride. That'll bring it out. Looking at Mark Jackson following the number 54. 54 rubbing bumpers with the 37. 37 side by side with Mark Jackson. Not sure exactly what happened right there. A little bit of side drafting. Nonetheless, contact between Mark Jackson and the number 37. Tough break out there for Mark Jackson and that over-the-top paints and designs brand new pad truck. Mark Jackson taking it into pit row. Got a backup vehicle coming. He's going to be hauling that off of that hauler for sure. Back up to your live action with Everett Lane, Tristan Beats, and Edward Bray. Drivers are catching the pace car here on lap 12 underneath our first caution of the night. Almost a guarantee that all drivers will be going into pit row. A bit of a close-up angle there of Everett. The number 24 with a picture of Nicky Clenny as he makes his way into pit row. In memory of Nicky Clenny. Left sides, right sides, and a full tank of fuel. He did not take right sides early on. No need to be taking the right side tires. Everett Fast Lane Racing in position 3. Going to talk to Everett as soon as he gets out on that track and gets himself all straightened out. Richard Brose in and out of pit row, as well as Edward Bray and Tristan Beats up there on the front line. Looks like Everett Lane might be in a little bit of a spot right here. Let Everett figure out exactly what it is that he is waiting for. Possible penalty on Everett Lane. All right, we're going to skip up here too. Tristan Beats. How about it, Tristan, if you get a copy?
What's going on, Scott?
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good deal. Hey, I'm looking at your truck. Over-the-top paints and designs, Young Guns, and the purple. Talk to me all about the truck.
Well, I have the DFDA on there for driving for diabetes awareness. There we go. Sorry,
there you
I've
go.
Driven for a long time. It's a very big meaning for me to be driving this truck since I personally have type 1 diabetes, and I've had it since I was 12 and I'm 18 now, so like almost 7 years now. So I just wanted to drive this truck to try and spread awareness wherever I go, whenever I drive it.
Alrighty, copy that. Now you're also spreading awareness. You've got the purple rims on and the purple 99, and that was all the favorite colors of Nikki Clenny. Now, with you being 18, talk to me briefly about your generation and how they relate to the dangers of distracted driving.
From what I've been seeing around a lot lately, just too many kids are texting and driving distracted, which is a real shame. We really need to try and put a stop to it. And what Padd's doing is really good, trying to spread awareness for it. I've just seen too many accidents from distracted driving and people not paying attention. And just recently there was an accident in my town, actually, that seriously injured someone because someone wasn't paying attention on the road and pulled out in front of a biker.
Ooh, not good at all. That would definitely upset Edward Bray, being a big biker advocate. What personal steps do you yourself take when you get behind the wheel to fight the temptation of picking up that phone?
I actually have this app on my phone, which is called My Driving BFF, that when you turn it on, it'll block all text and calls coming in, so you just don't know that you get them. So without knowing that you actually got the text, you can go easier without looking at your phone.
And it is one more time called what?
My Driving BFF.
My Driving BFF.
There's also a lot of other apps that you can go and look for, but that's just the one that I use.
Alrighty, good stuff. Very proud of you there, young man, keeping us safe out there. One more question about the race. What are your thoughts on the remaining 86 to go? How is everybody's attitude out there tonight?
Pretty good right now. It just seems like that wreck was a racing incident. We were starting to get bottled up. Everyone was just trying to get up to the front, and just accidents happen.
Alrighty, copy that. Good luck to you, Tristan Beats, representing the Kma Young Guns and DFDA and Padd.
Thanks, Scott.
A lot of applications out there to keep you safe and sound when you are behind the wheel. Tell your children, tell your wives, tell your husbands, tell your grandchildren, tell your grandparents. Distracted driving. It is not prone to one race, age, creed, color, religion, nationality. Everybody is in danger of distracted driving. The best defense is to spread the word. A wife pulled into the driveway the other day, had the phone up to her ear, yapping at her mother, and it actually got us into a little bit of a spat. I tell my daughter she is on the hands-free, which is good. That's a way to prevent it, but still, focus. Distracted driving not exclusive to telephones either. Radios, fill in with your seat, eating. I've seen drivers ride along with their little puppy dogs up on their laps. How can you focus on driving with all of those distractions going on, and then you mix in a cell phone in with it? And I tell you what, folks, it is a complete recipe for disaster. Sitting back with number 77 of Jack Watts. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Lee Staples on the outside in position 6. No mistake in the pad logos on the flatbed of the number 77. Jack Watts, another biker out here along with Edward Bray, and I tell you what, they take the distracted driving very, very, very seriously. Big shout out there to Kristen Phillips representing Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson still in it to win it. A little bit of a fender bender, but he is on his backup vehicle, alive and well. Hope Mama Patty's out there joining us in the monthly Race 4 Pad 266. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Talladega. Number 74 of Wesley Whitfield showing his support for Pad. Pace car is in. Tristan Beats side by side with Edward Bray up on that front line. Richard Brose, Ben Gear, J.R. Johnson, Lee Staples, and Jack Watts. Not that great of a start there for the number 77. Not as tight as what I think he would have wanted to be. That's going to allow Wesley to slide down very easily in front of Jack Watts. Possibly Jack Watts letting that gap develop to get Wesley down in line. We got to have a partner out here at Talladega. Wesley Whitfield getting it on the move with J.R. Johnson as they come around the outside of Lee Staples. Lee Staples on that inside lane. Wesley opting to come down to the rear end of Lee Staples. Going in car with the number 74. Want to give Mama Patty a big happy birthday, turning 90 tomorrow. Well, I tell you what, I would sing to you, Mama Patty, but you'd probably turn me off or at least mute me. So a big happy birthday there to Mama Patty. And what a birthday present that would be for Mama Patty if Mark Jackson could pull it out tonight. Mark Jackson currently sitting back in 15th position near the rear of the field, being pushed on by the 004 of Michael Johnson. Mark Jackson driving the silver and black Padd Chevy Silverado, looking very sharp out here. Coming up onto the rear end of Dave Acacia, coming around Dave Acacia, possibly making a move on Dave Acacia. Four-truck tandem here in the rear of the field, consisting of Jason Russo, Dave Acacia, Mark Jackson, and Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, unfortunately, 2 laps down. They are 3.8 seconds back off of our leader, number 91, Nick Reynolds, 91 of Joel Guy, and 54 of Nick Reynolds in 11th and 12th position. And they are 2.2 seconds back off of our race leader. Jack Watts hanging on to the tail end of the pack with Wesley Whitfield. 1.1 seconds back. 2 more spots up with Everett. Things are getting a little bit busy. Everett Lane side by side with Richard Brose. Lee Staples playing it very safe tonight. On the rear end of Tristan Beats. Tristan Beats now side by side with Richard Brose. J.R. Johnson advancing his positioning up. Edward Bray pushing on the number 13 of Ben Gear. Ben Gear leading his first lap of the night. He's got his hands full with the number 37 of J.R. Johnson onto his outside. 37 and 87 near contact between the number 13 and the number 37. Plenty of room out here at Talladega, but I tell you what, the pressure sometimes gets to the drivers. Somebody gets an itching to go 3 wide. Plenty of time to get that 3 wide in. 80 laps to go. Once the 80 laps are done with, the last 20 laps, go 3 wide, go 4 wide, go 5 wide on the last 10. But this early in the race, no need to go 3 wide. Just a Sunday drive for the first 80 laps is what is recommended out here. Richard Brose, very attached to that middle lane. Not a big fan of the low lane. Richard Brose not scared to go 3 wide at all. We'll be seeing that before too long. Driver's fuel window now has been bumped up to about lap 45. One caution tonight, 5 lead changes. Ben Gear leading lap 21 of 100 side by side with J.R. Johnson. Actually, J.R. Johnson led that lap. Very tight racing. Ben Gear driving the number 13 Chevy Silverado Budweiser. Budweiser and beer. These two drivers were out here racing Saturday night, and they spent a lot of time together out there on that track. J.R. Johnson has gone down to that front line. J.R. Johnson leading 1 lap tonight. That lap belonged to Richard Brose, leading his 2nd lap. Richard Brose very comfortable up in the front. Richie B's Pizza and Budweiser Beer out here at Talladega for 100 laps. Drivers showing their support for PADD, PADD.org at Talladega. Everett Lane maneuvering himself up into the middle lane, getting a run, being pushed on by Ben Gear. Richard Brose down to the inside. J.R. Johnson on the inside lane. Lead pack consisting of 9 drivers. Nick Reynolds in the number 54 in position 7. Joel Guy in the number 91, position 9. Right behind Jack Watts. Join us next week, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers do head for Dover. There'll be some interesting racing going on next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at Dover. Running the Xfinity class on Monday, the trucks on Tuesday, and the Cup cars on Friday. Richard Brose down below that yellow line, getting a little bit loose. Outside lane starting to make a little bit of movement, being led by Everett Lane. Everett Lane leading 10 laps tonight. J.R. Johnson hanging on very tight to the rear end of Richard Brose. Another paint job brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Paint job on the number 87 of Richard Brose. John Hedrick very, very busy. 3 wide action. That got a little bit scary right there. In-car camera with J.R. Johnson. That'll back you off a little bit. Getting a little bit hairy, scary out here at Talladega, folks. J.R. Johnson, lots of room down there on the left, but getting a little bit tight onto the side of the number 66 of Edward Bray. Outside lane, straight line formation with Ben, Ed, and Nick. J.R. Johnson getting off of the number 87 a little bit, down below that yellow line. Possibly J.R. having a little bit of a steering issue. Might want to make an adjustment once he does go into pit row for fuel. Nick Reynolds backing off of the number 66 of Edward Bray. Number 74 of Wesley Whitfield, 77 of Jack Watts, 4th and 5th position on the outside lane. Riding in 7th and 8th. Love seeing the purples out here. Drivers coming out once a month for the monthly Race 4 pad, putting on their pretty in purple, doing what they can to remind themselves about distracted driving, trying to spread the word and educate. As you kiss your wife goodbye in the morning, remind her, stay off the phone. Remind your husbands, children, grandparents. 2 hands on the wheel, 2 eyes on the road, focus. Eat the burger when you get there. Do the text once you get there. Change the radio once you get there. All of these factors are distracted driving, ladies and gentlemen. If you're at a stoplight and you see somebody next to you texting on their phone, roll your window down. Tell them friendly. Don't start a fight. Don't need nobody getting hurt out there. But remind them. You're going to hurt somebody one day texting and driving. Nothing wrong with a friendly reminder. Check out pad.org if you need help finding yourself an application. Plenty of applications out there to give you a hand to keep your hands off of your phone. Ben Gear out there on that front line on the inside leading his 5th lap. Get a good push from Everett Lane in the number 24. Nick Reynolds, Richard Brose on the outside. Tell you what, very impressed with Nick Reynolds. The way Nick Reynolds is pushing on to the number 66, staying hooked up at the right times. As they go into the corner, letting off as Edward Bray comes down in front of the 13. 13 just about contact with the number 54. 13 being driven by Ben Gear. Edward Bray, Ben Gear, Everett Lane. 1, 2, 3 on that inside lane. Nick Reynolds, Richard Brose on the outside. J.R. Johnson still pulling strong from number 37. Three wide action with Everett Lane. Edward Bray in the middle. Everett Lane got hung out there on that 3rd lane. Couldn't find any drivers quite willing to go with him for that 3 wide action. Edward Bray hooking up with the number 87 of Richard Brose. Not quite clear of the 13 on the inside lane. J.R. Johnson pushing onto the number 13. Jack Watts, Wesley Whitfield hanging out. And here comes Nick Reynolds. I might be smelling a little bit of three-wide action here with Nick Reynolds and Everett Lane. I know Everett wants to go three-wide. Nick Reynolds going for it. Yes, no, maybe so. Nick Reynolds trying to get a run up onto the number 87. If he gets that run onto that backstretch, I would predict three-wide action coming up. Edward Bray jumping down in front of the number 13. Richard Brose getting a good run with the help of the number 54. Richard Brose leading that lap. Richard Brose dropping down after leading that lap. And that'll put Nick Reynolds on his way to the front with the help of Everett Lane. Richard Brose in front. Richard doing a very good job tonight. Edward Bray showing his Sport 4 pad. Very tight race in between Richard Brose and Nick Reynolds. Both drivers doing a great job holding their line. Everybody giving a lot of give and take. Richard Brose now leading 7 laps. Jack Watts keeping his distance off of that yellow line very smoothly. The thing about that yellow line, you get down on that yellow line and your tires hit it a little bit the wrong way. You go a little bit further over onto it. And take it for a ride. Simple as that. You will go for a ride. Wesley Whitfield still in the lead pack in position 6th, giving plenty of room to the drivers in front. Ben Gear. Very smooth racing out here tonight in the monthly Race 4 Pad 266, except up in the front. Lordy, we got a caution. Alrighty, let's see what happened here. Taking a look at the number 54 and the number 24 of Everett Lane. Everett Lane in the purple. And right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the front end of the number 24. Just gets into the rear end of the number 54, Nick Reynolds. And that'll be a heartbreaker there for Richard Brose, Everett Lane, Ben Gear, Wesley Whitfield sliding through it. Just a little bit of a bumper hook, ladies and gentlemen. But that will bring out our second caution of the night, as there is a little bit of contact. And Nick Reynolds goes for a spin, taking out Edward Bray, Richard Brose, Ben Gear. What a ride and what a run, ladies and gentlemen. Second caution of the night. Tough break for our race leaders, but to the drivers in the rear of the field, few of them are going to be quite happy that this caution has come out. Few drivers will be limping their way back into pit row. Joel Guy very happy to see that caution come out. I know Mark Jackson's quite happy to see that caution come out. Edward Bray smoking, and not in a good way. There is no good way to smoke. Edward Bray, the Reaper, taking it into pit row. As the engine on the number 66 just about ready to die. Not sure Edward Bray will make it into pit row. Bray taking a hard limp. Down to 36 miles per hour for Edward Bray under caution. Not so sure he's going to make it. Ben Gear tore up as well. Good time for all these drivers to head into pit row. Underneath our second caution at lap 40. 40 in, 60 out. All drivers heading into pit row. A little bit of a bumper hook causing that one, folks. Fortunately, these drivers have one reset. And just like that, the in memory of Nicky Clenny is fixed. But folks, remember, out there in real life, there are no resets. No resets at all. Everett Lane rolling it back out onto that track. We're going to see if we can get a chat in with Everett Lane. How about it, Everett? Have you got a copy, sir?
Hey, Scott. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Bit of a tough break right there.
Yeah, it looked like we got a little bit of bumper hook going on there. It's sad to think because me and Nick were hooked up there pretty good together, running up front.
All righty, copy that. Well, I'm glad to see you went out there and you used that reset. You got a great-looking truck. But I do want to talk to you about the reset and the reset with Padd out there in real life with the dangers of distracted driving. They don't have the luxury of a reset. What do you think?
They certainly don't there, Scott. They don't have no resets to go back out there and try to fix the mess they made with that texting and driving, because that stuff sure does cause a mess. That's a sad thing, and these laws everybody's passing, let's hope it helps and save some lives out there.
All right, now we were talking to Tristan, and Tristan uses one of those apps. What are some of the things that you do to make sure you're not tempted by the phone while you're driving?
Well, I'm fortunate. I'm 55 years old, and I have a 1970 flip phone that doesn't accept texts and can't text, so I never have that issue.
All righty, good deal. Now, I suppose you probably got a couple of kids?
Oh, most definitely. I got some young grown men. I got 3 boys, and they know the situation. Their mom and I'm on them pretty good about that kind of stuff. If it's really important, you need to pull over and address the issue. If it's not that important, just hit the mute button and pick it up later. I mean, if you have a serious call, you need to pull over and address the issue. You don't need to be driving and texting that, because that distracted driving definitely causes a lot of pain in families, that's for sure.
All righty, copy that. Well, you are looking good out there. Did you paint that truck up yourself?
I absolutely did, Scott. You know, I retired the last paint scheme. We went out on a win the last pad race with that truck. We painted up a new one for the new pad races. We've been running up front pretty good here with it, and we'll see if we can't bring this thing to victory lane at the end of the night.
All righty, good luck to you, Everett.
Thank you, Scott.
Big shout out there to Everett Lane. Talking about the flip phones he has. Very interesting. Haven't heard of a flip phone in about 15 years. Gary Whitmer in the Angels Never Die, moving his position up there too. Third position, another great looking truck out here. Angels Never Die, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs, John Hedrick. So glad to see Gary Whitmer out here tonight, showing his support for Nikki Clenny, remembering Nikki in the Angels Never Die, number 52. How about it, Gary Whitmer? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Scott.
All right, he wanted to pull you over here and talk with you. Say thank you for driving the Angels Never Die. You're very familiar with the story of Nikki.
Yes, I am. My son's a big supporter of Padd.
All righty, your son being Gary Whitmer Jr. not able to join us, has actually met the man himself, Mike Lenny. As a father, as a grandfather, give us your thoughts on the dangers of distracted driving.
It's really gotten bad. I see it practically every day I'm on the road. I won't answer my phone. A lot of times I don't even have it with me, so it's really gotten bad out there, and I just wish more people were aware of the consequences that it would cause.
Well, the only way we can make that happen is by educating the world, educating our fans, our friends, our loved ones. Talk to me about what you expect for the remainder 58 laps of tonight's race.
Well, I hope it goes green. I hope everybody's a little patience and give and take, and I think it's going to be a good ending of the race.
All righty, and again, we appreciate you driving the number 52 Angels Never Die. Good luck to you, Gary.
Thank you, Scott.
Gary Whitmer Sr. out here driving the Angels Never Die, father of Gary Whitmer Jr., owner of GW Graphics, our Monday night sponsor. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Sr. and Gary Whitmer Jr. and Becky Whitmer out there on the KMA TV chat channel, rooting on her men when they do race. We are on lap 42 of 100. Wesley Whitfield and Nick Reynolds up there on the front line. Nick Reynolds has been fighting hard tonight. Southeast Motorsports. Paint job brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Gary Whitmer Jr. restarting in third position behind Wesley Whitfield. Side by side with Nick Reynolds and David Casia. J.R. Johnson still doing a great job. Jason Russo has worked his way up to position 5. Mark Jackson up to position 6. Big shout out there to Mark Jackson, and one more happy birthday there too. Mama Patty turning 90 years old tomorrow. Edward Bray has fallen to one lap down due to that caution. Pace car is in. J.R. Johnson into the rear end of the number 20 under pace. Not sure what that was about. Pretty good amount of damage on the number 20. Courtesy of the number 37. Gary Whitmer straddling that yellow line. Get her up, Gary. Get her up, Gary. The yellow line is not your friend. Again, rear-end collision there on the number 20. He has buckled up. Nick Reynolds must have lost some speed right there. Jason Russo taking advantage of it. That outside lane has fallen apart. And David Casia severe damage courtesy of the number 37. Not sure what's going on right there. But that'll put Jason Russo up on the front line, getting a push from the number 54. Big shout out there to Michelle McMaster Eisenhower checking in on the pad race. Jason Russo looking to lead his first lap of the night, but he has got his hands full with the number 74. Mark Jackson moving his way on up through that inside lane on the tail end of the number 52. Angels Never Die, Gary Whitmer. Dave Acacia onto the rear end of Nick Reynolds. J.R. Johnson still very tight to the number 20. Mark Jackson showing a little bit of damage on the left tail end. Making contact with the number 52, trying to get the 52 up to the 74. Double foul action. Jason Russo leading 3 laps. Wesley Whitfield leading 4 out here in the monthly Race 4 pad. Be sure to check out padd.org, pad.org. Make a donation. Buy a t-shirt, buy a wristband. Get yourself some bumper stickers and help spread the word about PAD. Damage on the rear end of Mark Jackson, but doesn't really seem like it's going to affect him a whole lot. Holding very good in position. Taking a look at the number 37 and the number 20, J.R. Johnson and Dave Acacia. Damage on the rear end of the number 20 not affecting him. But I tell you what, J.R. Johnson is giving him just bump after bump after bump out here tonight. Another bump given by J.R. Johnson. Jack Watts down onto that inside lane representing Southeast Motorsports. Three wide action. This isn't going to be pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 wide. J.R. Johnson trying to go 3 wide just about down into the number 52. The number 54 dodging. J.R. Johnson almost making his way to the front with Jason Russo, beating and banging to get up there. Jason Russo down to the inside lane. Big shout out there to Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor, working his way up there to the front. And here comes Nick Reynolds. Nick Reynolds and the number 24 of Everett Lane. Wesley Whitfield sliding up to that outer lane, locking it in behind the number 24 Everett Lane, pushing on the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. Jason Russo leading his 5th lap of the night in the monthly Race 4 pad. We are at the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. 50 in, 50 out. 18 lead changes, 2 cautions, totaling 18 in the monthly race score pad. Down slides Nick Reynolds. Opening up that outside lane for Everett, Fast Lane Racing. Nick Reynolds leading 1 lap tonight. Overall, a pretty good race. 2 cautions on 50 laps. That's not bad at all. A couple of bumper hooks happening out here. It's going to happen. Nick Reynolds on the inside. Everett on the outside. Everett to the inside. Jason on the outside. Very impressed with Everett tonight. Been fighting very hard out here, showing his support for Nicky Clenny. Been very sharp in the paint job. Nick Reynolds giving Everett a lot of help out here tonight. Jason Russo looking good. Wesley Whitfield in the number 74. I believe that is a brand new issue pad truck. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Gary Whitmer looking very sharp in position 7. Mark Jackson still in it to win it. Number 3, Mark Jackson. Big shout out there to Kristen and Mama Patty rooting on Mark Jackson. Ben Gear's been a front runner tonight, leading 9 laps. He has dropped to position 10, caught up in that second caution, but on a backup vehicle. Jack Watts in position 11. Tristan Beats, he's led a few laps out here. Tristan Beats, position 12. Lee Staples, position 13. Edward Bray, 1 lap down. Trying to work his way up through this field. Edward Bray's goal right now is to get to the front and get in front of that leader. That way he will be on the lead lap. Nonetheless, doing a great job out here tonight. Rear end of David Casey taking on substantial damage. When it's in the rear, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. You'll lose a lot of temperature control if the front end of your truck is torn apart. But there on the rear end, it's not going to really affect him. It'll make it a little hard for Joel Guy, the number 91, to do any good amount of pushing. Same thing there with Mark Jackson. Where that damage is, that's really not going to cause a big issue. Huge field out here tonight, still running. Past the halfway point. Still looking for some green flag racing as far as the pit stops go. We've had plenty of green flag laps. Would like to see some green flag pit stops out here tonight. Everett Lane, Jason Russo leading us down that back stretch. Looking at speeds of, that'll be a caution right there, folks. That's a big one. Unfortunately, I do believe that is the number 37 of J.R. Johnson. As J.R. Johnson does come up into the nose of the number 74. And, whoa, lordy, lordy. J.R. Johnson going for a right tonight. I do want to back that up one more time, ladies and gentlemen, and see if we can get a handle on exactly what did happen with J.R. Johnson as he plainly, clear as day, comes up across the track and brings out our third caution of the night. Tough break there for J.R. Johnson, bringing out our second caution of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lap 56 of 100, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, in our monthly Race for Pad 266. Appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us tonight. We're underneath our third caution of the night. 19 lead changes. Everett Lane up there in front, along with Ben Gear and Nick Reynolds. Jason Russo in fourth, and Jack Watts sitting in fifth. Mark Jackson sitting in sixth position. Definitely want to get an interview in with Mark Jackson. How about it, Mark Jackson? You got a copy? Mark Jackson, you got a copy? How about it, Marky? You got a copy? Alrighty, having some interview microphone issues there with Mark Jackson, but nonetheless doing a great job. Jack Watts sitting in seventh. How about it, Jack? Have you got a copy?
I got a copy. How you doing, bud?
Doing very good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
All right, doing okay. I'll tell you what, that was a crazy wreck that we just had to survive it.
I pretty much let go of the wheel, hold my hands in front of my eyes, and just hope for the best.
All righty, a little bit against what we're preaching out here tonight with distracted driving, but hey, if it gets you through, appreciate you showing the support with Pad there on your Chevy Silverado. As a biker, talk to us briefly about how distracted driving and the whole biker situation is intact for you.
I think for me it's unreal how many people you see as a biker. You see a lot more stuff, and it's just amazing how many people you see looking down, just texting, calling, whatever, and there's just no reason for that stuff. Wait till you get home.
Exactly. And we preach that over here. We practice that. Do you ever see fellow bikers texting and driving? Is that even possible?
The only thing I know that's possible is to grab your phone and skip to the next song. Otherwise, texting, you can't. You have to pull over. If you don't, that's dumb. But I've never seen one of them doing it.
Alrighty, copy that. When you get back down there in channel, do tell Mark Jackson I tried to get him on for an interview to wish Mama Patty a happy 90th birthday. But we're having some microphone issues there with Mark, so if you can relay that message on, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir, will do.
All right, thank you, Jack.
Have fun up there.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Jack Watts out here representing Padd in Southeast Motorsports. Third caution of the night. Taking a quick look at our running order. Everett Lane, Ben Gear, Nick Reynolds, Jason Russo, Jack Watts, Mark Jackson, Lee Staples in 7th position. Wesley Whitfield has dropped to 8th. Gary Whitmer has dropped down to 9th. David Casey is still holding his own. Joel Guy, Edward Bray falling to 2 laps down. Was hoping that Edward Bray would have gotten that lucky dog or wave by. Not happening tonight. A lot of drivers, unfortunately, taken out on that third caution. Brought out by drivers sliding up track. That would have been the big one, ladies and gentlemen. 9 drivers out on track, few more in pit row, trying to get themselves repaired and fixed up. This is the monthly race for Padd. People Against Distracted Driving. Southeast Motorsports, Nick Reynolds and Jack Watts in positions 3 and 4. Good job there too. Southeast working as teammates tonight, working along with Mark Jackson. Wesley Whitfield in that group as well. Big shout out there to Black Talon, Edward Bray and Lee Staples. Lee Staples sitting in 5th position. Edward Bray 1 lap down. Drivers lined up, double file. Pace car is in. Taking lap 60. 40 laps to roll once they cross that finish line. Still the possibility of green flag pit stops. Drivers are on about a 32 lap window. Drivers out on that track. Unfortunately, that last caution took out about 6 drivers. Outside lane falling apart, being led by Ben Gear. Ben Gear going to get a boost from the number 64 of Lee Staples. Lee Staples being rooted on by his lovely wife Karen. I do believe they just recently had an anniversary, so happy anniversary to Lee and Karen Staples. I'm assuming that I got that right. I hope I got that right. If not, whenever your anniversary is, happy anniversary to you. I'm pretty sure I got that right. 77 going to the outside. Southeast Motorsports on that outside lane. Nick Reynolds dropping down in front of Everett Lane. Mark Jackson up there to the front, leading that outside lane, being pushed on by Jack Watts in the number 77. Nick Reynolds side by side with Mark Jackson. Everett Lane, second truck on the inside. Joel Guy has worked his way up to the front, position 5. Jason Russo in the number 14, position 7, side by side with Ben Gear. Ben Gear been a front runner most of the night, leading 10 laps. Nick Reynolds leading his second. Everett Lane leading 22 laps out here tonight. Well, how about it, Michael Johnson? Have you got a copy?
10-4, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Are you out of the race, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I had computer issues with the truck. Had to put it in the garage to reset the computer, and I got involved in that last wreck, so I am done.
Alrighty, well, I won't keep you too long, but since I do have you up here, boy, that third wreck was a big one. What was the atmosphere out on the field during that?
I actually thought I was by it, and they just happened to slide right up in front of my nose, and I drilled them at 180 mile an hour and blew my motor.
Alrighty, tough break for you there, brother. I do want to talk to you about Padd. You are one of the biggest supporters of Padd out there, so I'm just going to hand the mic over to you and tell us all we need to know about Padd.
PADD.org. We are hardcore against any type of distracted driving. Doesn't matter what it is. You take your eyes off that road for a split second, that is considered distracted driving.
Now, you know something that I find odd, and this is exactly what Mike Clenny is trying to get not to be the situation, but I live over here in Illinois. I know you're very close to Illinois. It almost seems that Padd is almost more of an East Coast, well, it is East Coast based in the foundation of it, but I had never heard of it until I got into iRacing, and my cousins, my family here in Illinois, they had never heard about it, and that's why it's so important, Mike, for us to do these races and to spread the word all the way from Virginia, North Carolina, all the way over to the West Coast, out there to California.
10-4 on that, and I was actually in a league race with Mr. Calendi when he lost his daughter due to distracted driving. And I've also personally been involved in distracted driving. That's kind of why I am pushing hard and heavy for PADD.org.
And tell us some of the things that we can do there, Mike, to make sure that we are not on the bad end of the distracted, that we're not going to be the ones at fault. What can we do to make sure that we're not going to run somebody down?
Put your cell phone in the glove box. Don't answer it. Don't chat on it. Don't read a text on it. Don't brush your hair. Read the newspaper. Turn around. Yell at your kids. All that's distracted driving. And trust me, you do not want to live with the pain that I live with. So consider Padd. Look into it. PADD.org. Preach to your kids about it and go with that.
Alrighty, we appreciate your time that you did come out here tonight, and unfortunately you are done for the night due to PC issues, but we'll see you back out there on the track in the next one.
I'll stay in the booth if you want me to, Scott.
Alrighty, copy that. Great deal, great deal. Always love the company. Now I'll tell you something else that I love out here on these Padd races is the purple. Now Nicky also had a significant number. Do you know what that number was?
22.
22. All right, you are up to date on your Padd information. Always good to hear. Have you got the simulator up and running?
10-4. I'm on the leader and rear chase.
All righty.
And Joel Guy just took the lead.
Joel Guy, he was our winner out here on Saturday night. So Joel Guy would love nothing more than to win 2 speedways on a double hitter, but he's got some pretty stiff competition out there with the number 24 and the number 54.
Yeah, affirmative on that. It's been pretty clean racing. We've had some racing incidences that took quite a bit of drivers out, but there's nothing we can do about it. Pack driving, those come out.
Nick Reynolds, very impressed with Nick Reynolds and Southeast Motorsports tonight. Nick Reynolds and Jack Watts doing a great job. Looking at the rear end of David Casey. Now, David Casey received that rear end damage there. He had to get fixed. It is fixed now, but I've been seeing a little bit of rear ending going on out there tonight.
They're racing hard. Race is getting kind of late. We're on lap 69, taking 70. They're going to start really racing hard here shortly.
And Joel Guy drifting up and getting hung out in that high lane. That'll cause a little bit of a gap, and that'll put Nick Reynolds and Everett Lane side by side. Now, you're right, but also here, coming up on lap 70, the drivers are still going to need to pit, and their fuel window is about 32, and we are at about 32 to go. So I'm really hoping to see some green flag pit stops coming up.
That's going to be interesting. There might be a few drivers here that short pit, so it could get interesting here in the next 10 laps.
Now, we do have a question out on that KMA TV chat. Do you know why the number 22 was so special to Nikki Kalini?
That was actually the number on her car when she actually raced. She used to race on dirt tracks, and that was the number that she ran.
Nice, nice. A little bit of information there I didn't know.
I used to run the 22 until I found that out, and then I went to the 004.
Now here within these pad races, the number 22 is sacred.
Yeah, we kind of leave that number open for Mr. Kalini if he ever comes in and races with us. We like to get him that number because that was his daughter's number, so we kind of like to leave that number open.
One of these days we're going to have to get Mike up here into the booth and hear his story firsthand. I know he's got his hands full and works a very busy schedule, as well as handling the operations of people against distracted driving, but maybe one day. Now, Gary Whitmer Jr. recently went up there and met Mike firsthand in the Walker Pad, so that was pretty cool. And Gary Whitmer, very close to Pad, very huge supporter of people against distracted driving.
Got a good battle going here up front.
Jason Russo doing a great job leading 5 laps. Everett Lane leading 30 out here tonight. Nick Reynolds on that outside lane. I tell you what, I know it's early. I don't want to even try to pick a winner yet, Mike, because we've got some green flag pit stops coming up very soon, I'm hoping. But I tell you what, there's about 6 drivers right now, I think, that could legitimately win tonight's race.
There's some tough cars, good fast trucks out there tonight, and it's going to get interesting here in about 10 laps who decide to short pit and go to the end. It's going to take 2-3 trucks to short pit. They got to stay together.
And I'm not seeing any 3 wide right now, because right now you got to start calculating your pits, and the worst thing you want to do is get stuck outside in that outside lane, or even worse, up into the 3rd groove. You want to be getting down into that inside lane so you can get ready to go in for a green flag pit stop. Doesn't happen often, but I have seen drivers get caught on that 2nd and 3rd groove and cannot get down and actually run out of fuel. And ain't nothing worse than running out of fuel at Talladega.
It's nothing worse to run out of fuel in that top line on any track. And I see a lot of trucks down on that lower line now, so we might be getting some pit strategy coming in here.
We've got 3 trucks that are up on that outside lane. That'll be Jack Watts, Wesley Whitfield, and the 54 of Nick Reynolds, all running with Southeast Motorsports. Now, those 3 drivers, Mike, they are on the same radio comms, so they might be thinking we're going to stretch this out, and they're possibly banking on the inside lane going into pit road early.
Well, if they get half that inside lane going down early, they can actually get down and pit. Here we go. They're pitting.
Dave Acacia going in very hot. Ooh, just barely making it, laying out some tread. Dave Acacia going in, Joel Guy going in, Lee Staples into pit road, Jason Russo into pit road. Green flag pit stops. Coming alive on lap 74 of 100.
And that's what Southeast Motorsports needed, because they're pretty much down on the low line now.
Now in a situation like this, is it normally he who pits first has the better opportunity, or he who pits second?
Depends. If you got 3 teammates going in, don't matter when they go in, if they can come out together, they're going to get up to speed, be just as fast as the pre-pitters.
Alrighty, I do fear that Lee Staples possibly having a penalty in the pit row, as he is the last driver getting out of pit row. David Casey out clean, Jason Russo out clean, but these 4 drivers, they're split apart and they are single. They need to get caught up with one another, because every time you're out here at Talladega by yourself, you are losing seconds on seconds.
Southeast Motorsports do have 2 cars behind them tagged in with them, so if all 5 of them pit together, they're not really going to lose much time by pitting later than the pre-pitters.
And they are ripping around Joel Guy. So we're looking at Wesley Whitfield, Nick Reynolds, Jack Watts, Everett Lane, and Ben Gear. And they're coming up hot and heavy on the number 20 of Dave Acacia. Well, with this 5-truck tandem, Mike, you know, they really need to stick together and battle it out on the last 10 laps.
Yeah, they should be able to get another 10 to 15 laps in here before they got to pit again. So we'll see if they short pit here, if they stretch it to the limit, and hope for a caution.
Well, I tell you what, that was a heartbreaker there for Jason Russo, David Casey, Lee Staples, Joel Guy, as they went into pit row. And oftentimes these speedway races, they are brought out and won by he who can pit. And with those 4 drivers that I just mentioned going into pit row, here they go, going into pit row.
4 or 5 of them, yep.
5 drivers into pit row. You know, they may make the same mistakes that the first group made. And what Jason Russo and company need right now is for these drivers of Southeast to get penalties going in, get penalties going out. I think they're all clean. They're all looking very good. Cameras on the number 74 of Wesley Whitfield, slightly overshooting.
Yep.
He slightly overshot it, but not much, taking left sides. Ben Gear taking no tires. Jack Watts rolling out. Nick Reynolds rolling out. Now that'll currently put Mark Jackson out there on the front line. But Mark is by himself and flying solo. Not the place you want to be. And I don't think Mark Jackson has done a pit stop yet. But that will put Mark Jackson out there in front, and he will be leading his first lap here as we do take lap 78.
I'm showing Mark Jackson still has to pit. His last 2-minute lap was on lap 60.
Mark Jackson in first place, but by himself. Not in a good place right now here on lap 78. Everett Lane hooked up with Ben Gear. Nick Reynolds in third place, flying solo. Jack Watts and Wesley Whitfield in fourth and fifth. I would predict that Jack Watts and Wesley Whitfield and the number 77 and the number 74 will be picking up their teammate, the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. Can those 3 trucks catch up to Everett and Ben?
3 trucks is always faster than 2, so I'm going to say yes. There's still a lot of laps left here. 20 coming here across the line, 21. So I'm going to put my money out, banking on that they can catch them.
Now Mark Jackson is getting ready to be passed by Ben Gear and Everett Lane. Showing no love. No love there for Mark Jackson.
And that's going to hurt him if he's got a green flag pit.
Most definitely that'll put Everett Lane back there in 5th place. Now Nick Reynolds and company, they're looking at about a 3.5 second differential, 3.4 second, 3.3 second. Nick Reynolds and company definitely gaining on Everett Lane, and they're down to 3 seconds back already.
They got three car tandem going, so they're going to run them down. Mark is banking on a caution here, and he's going to have to get it, or he's going to be in the back of the pack and nothing to do unless he hooks up with a 4 or 5 car train and they get her moving.
Lee Staples in 10th place, David Casey in 9th, Gary Whitmer Sr. in 8th, Jason Russo falling to 7th, Wesley Whitfield in 6th position. Edward Bray, Joel Guy, 1 lap down. Jared Johnson, Tristan Beats, Michael Johnson, Richard Brose, Chris Hogue out to the hauler.
And as you see here, Everett and Ben, they're pulling away from the field pretty good, but them next 3 cars catching Mark right now, they're coming hard.
Well, once they catch up with Mark, it's going to be to their benefit to get Mark into this 3-car tandem, make it a 4-car tandem. Let's watch and see if there's any love here for Mark Jackson as Nick Reynolds takes the high side, Jack Watts on the high side, Wesley on the high side. Not sure that they're going to pick up Mark Jackson at all.
Yep.
Mark actually played that pretty good. He stayed down there on that yellow line, which he could pick up their draft a lot quicker.
Looks like Wesley's going to drag that break. Wesley's going to drag that break for Mark Jackson, I do believe. But the question is how long will Mark Jackson be good for, because he still has yet to pit.
Yeah, he still got to pit, but that 4-car train's catching the field here, the leaders, real quickly.
Well, they have. Well, they've pretty much caught Ben Gear and Everett Lane. Everett Lane leading his 36th lap of the night. And Nick Reynolds and Jack Watts and Wesley, they've got him, Mike. They have got him.
Yeah, they're in their draft here. Let's see what they do here. Are they going to stay with them for a little bit, or are they going to go high and go by them?
Oh, I'm thinking they're going to go high and go by.
Yep, there they go. Now we got a race going.
But I'm not sure they're going to have the momentum to completely get all 3 trucks around. They've got Nick cleared. Was cleared. So it is a 3-on-2 situation for the winner here at the monthly race for Padd. Lap 82 of 100. 18 to go, 17 to go as we take lap 83. They've got Jack by. Wesley Whitfield not quite able to get around the number 24.
Yeah, but 3-on-2, I think eventually a couple laps are going to do it.
And they clear him. They clear him. Nick Reynolds, Jack Watts, Wesley Whitfield take the lead. Everett Lane going to the outside. Ben Gear not biting. Ben Gear biting. Ben Gear and Everett, they have to work together right now with everything they have got.
And we're down to under 20 laps to go, so there's going to be some heavy side drafting going on here.
Dropping back to the rear of our field, taking a look at a few drivers. Before we do lock onto our leaders for the final laps, we've got Joel Guy. Joel Guy sitting back in 12th position, and he is 1 lap down. Joel Guy working with Jason Russo and Edward Bray. Edward Bray in 11th position, Jason Russo in 6th. Gary Whitmer in 10th position, working with Lee Staples and Dave Acacia for positions 8 and 9. Mark Jackson sitting in 7th position. But it is all about the top 5 right now. We've got Nick Reynolds, Everett Lane, and Jack Watts, Ben Gear, and Wesley Whitfield. And we're going to stay with these 5 throughout the rest of the evening. We are on lap 85, 15 to go, 30 lead changes. It's a lot of lead changes.
And Everett Lane is getting his rear bumper beat off right now, but they just, 2 cars, it's hard to pass 3.
Well, and they've got the advantage of the inside lane. But, you know, mistakes can happen. Looking at the number 74, he is tucked up very tightly on the number 77, flirting with that right rear end. And that is exactly how you turn a truck. They can have so much pressure put on them that one of these drivers may blow an engine. These Silverados and Tundras, they've been heating up very quickly. So there's still a lot of factors. And Ben Gear could actually still win this race, as could Wesley Whitfield.
And Everett Fast Lane, he's got his nose up in front now. Can he get pushed hard enough?
Now that would be a move to make. If Fastlane gets in front of Nick Reynolds, then he would in theory dump the number 13, and he might lose his drafting partner. So, you know, if you're 2 to go, I think that would be a really excellent move. But right now, with 14 to go, I don't think that would be the move for Everett to make. You need to stay with Ben Gear.
Yeah, they're starting to fall back a little bit, but I think they're going to get another good run going here.
Now, you had mentioned side drafting. Talk to our fans about the side drafting and how it comes into play.
Side drafting is actually an advantage to the high line. You get down real close right there, just like what happened here, and you'll actually slow the car below you down, and you'll go right by him.
But you got to get very, very tight, very, very close.
Yeah, you need about 5 feet in between cars, which is tough to do. You got to have good drivers below you, above you to do it. And here he goes, 24 coming up. He's got his nose up in front again.
Staying out there, true blue to Ben Gear. And I tell you what, this inside lane, they are just executing this as they come down that backstretch, 1, 2, and 3. I do believe that their only priority right now is having caution is out.
Where's it at? It's behind us. Look like Kma is out of turn 2.
And we are looking at Joel Guy. I do believe he got into the rear end of Jason Russo. There it is right there as Jason Russo goes for a ride. Getting a little bit of a turn there from the number 91 of Joel Guy. Edward Bray slicing through the center like a true professional. But unfortunate break there for the number 14 of Jason Russo. Nice break there for Gary Whitmer, Lee Staples, David Casey. Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, that's going to make it interesting now. Who's going to pit for fresh rubber? And I do believe Mark Jackson still had to pit again, so this caution could be to his advantage.
We are showing Mark Jackson as 1 lap down. Joel Guy 1 lap down. Edward Bray 1 lap down. Well, we do know that Joel Guy will not be getting the wave by or the free pass. I'm not sure if Edward Bray completely got through that without any contact. If he did, that'll put Edward Bray with a lucky dog position and back on that lead lap.
I'm showing Mark Jackson might have been on pit road when that caution come out. If he got off in time, he will have the lucky dog.
All right, we will find out in just a few short laps here as the race officials do sort it out. We have Nick Reynolds, Everett Lane, Jack Watts, Ben Gear, Wesley Whitfield passing by pit row. 2 drivers into pit row. Interesting situation right here.
Mark Jackson was on pit road when that caution come out, so if he got out in time, he will get the lucky dog.
Lee Staples heading into pit row, as well as Dave Acacia. Jason Russo in pit row. Gary Whitmer staying out. That'll put Gary Whitmer out there in 6th position. So you know Gary Whitmer's got to be pretty happy right now. Lee Staples, Dave. Not so sure how Nick and Everett and Jack are going to feel about that right now, because they pretty much had that sign sealed and delivered, but now they've got some more drivers they got to worry about.
And Mark Jackson, he took all 4 tires on that pit. I'm not really sure why this late in the race, but he did take all 4 tires, so he could actually be pretty strong here at the end.
And we are hoping that Edward Bray and Mark Jackson will receive the Lucky Dog and free pass. Not sure again on the situation with the fuel positioning on Mark Jackson. He was in pit lane. Not sure if Edward Bray had contact as he slid past Joel Guy.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the replay yet, but I'm still showing Mark Jackson in the Lucky Dog spot.
Alrighty, and he is indeed in the Lucky Dog as Edward Bray begins to catch that fill.
I think Edward took the wave around, or is in the process of taking the wave around here.
I do believe you're right. If that is the case, I'll put Mark Jackson on that Lucky Dog, or so we're hoping. Edward Bray catching the field. All right, that'll give us a chance to talk to Edward Bray. How about it, Edward? Have you got a copy?
Got a copy.
All right, you're back on that lead lap?
Sure am, finally.
Alrighty, copy that. Taking a look around your Chevy Silverado, you've got some great looking decals out there supporting Pad, Kma TV. I do want to talk about the Bikers Against Child Abuse. That's something very close to my heart as well. Give us a little bit of information there about Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Yeah, it's a group, nationwide, like motorcycle group that sort of helps protect those children that have been, some type of abuse, from sexual to mental to you name it. So during court appearances and all, you have certain bikers that are the sponsor for each child, and so basically they help with build up the self-esteem, knowing that they're not alone, and helps out everything when it comes to prosecuting those that abuse children.
Alrighty, sounds like a wonderful cause. Talk to me, when we go back to Green Flag Racing, we're going to be looking at about 7 laps to go, and Nick and Everett, Wesley, the gang up there, they had a really good run going. We're not happy that this caution come out, but I know you were. I know Mark was, Dave, Lee, they were all happy about this caution that came out. What do you reckon the last 7 laps are going to be?
It's go time, Scott, and I'm pretty sure it'll be full of action. It's one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about. Hopefully there'll be enough action where there's not another caution. It'll finish on the green flag conditions, and hopefully I can push somebody from KMA or others from KMA up to the win.
Alrighty, good luck to you there, Edward Bray.
Thanks, Scott.
Alrighty, Michael, now he did mention go time. It was go time there for Nick and Everett and company. Now it's overtime go time. What do you think?
Yeah, everybody's bunched up now, so everybody is going to be going hard. They're going to have to get teamed up with their buddies and stay hooked up, and it's going to be interesting from here on out. It's going to be go or blow.
Yep. So on the restart with approximately 8 to 7 laps to go, would you want to be restarting on the inside or restarting on the outside?
Outside lane, if you get enough cars that work together, race good together, the outside lane is actually the faster line.
Alrighty, but we also have to put into play teammates. Now we know that Everett and Ben, they're going to line up together. Nick Reynolds is going to line up here with Wesley and Jack Watts, so they're going to stay together. Edward Bray is going to be trying to get to the rear end of David Casey or Lee Staples. Joel Guy is going to be a factor in there, as well as Gary Whitmer. So I'm thinking there might be some guys trying to split up the Southeast Motorsports group. What do you think?
That's what it's going to have to be. They're going to have to do that some way. They're going to have to be right there at the right time, and if there's a gap, you got to get in between them. You got to split them up. But now we got to remember that Mark Jackson did take 4 tires on his last green flag pit, so he could be very strong and very fast, just depending on who he hooks up with.
No, I am still showing Mark Jackson and Joel Guy as 1 lap down, but they're still out here willing to give a hand to anybody that they can, and Mark Jackson is in 11th, and Joel Guy will be restarting it off in 12th position.
Yeah, like I said, it's whoever Mark Jackson hooks up with, fresh rubber, he's going to be fast. He's going to be able to hold his line and push like you've never been pushed before.
Nick Reynolds side by side with Everett Lane. Jack Watts side by side with Ben Gear. Wesley Whitfield will be side by side with Gary Whitmer. I got to give a big shout out here to Gary Whitmer. He's relatively new to iRacing, and I tell you what, the man has a set. He is out here. He's not his first race or two. He was kind of shy, kind of laying back, being very careful. But I tell you what, Gary Whitmer Sr. has broken out of that shell. Pace car is in. Let's see what Gary Whitmer will do with it now. And we will be taking lap 93. 7 to go.
It appears they're going on green. Here we go. Race, race, race.
There is that gap, but unfortunately there's also a gap between Everett and Ben Gear. Ben Gear not onto the rear end of the 24, such as he should be. Wesley Whitfield almost turning Jack Watts. We saw Jack doing a little bit of corrective measuring there. Jack Watts flirting with that yellow line. Everett Lane getting that side draft, and here comes Ben Gear.
Here comes that outside line.
They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go 3 wide.
I'm surprised they're not side drafted with this many laps left to go. 6, 7 laps to go. Uh-oh, here we go.
A little bit of love there between Jack Watts and Everett Lane. That'll split them up.
I think he kept it off the wall, though. He's on his back bumper. He's going to beat it off.
Well, that changes everything, and I will give Jason Russo and David Casey the run. This will be a very exciting finish, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Watts, Nick Reynolds completely in control of the inner 2 lanes. There it is. What's going on? Crazy. That'll bring out a caution every time. We're going to back that up and take a look at that from blimp mode, because that may finish tonight's race.
And that took 3/4 of trucks out of this race.
You know, it's funny. Becky Whitmer was asking a few minutes ago, is this where she closes her eyes? And, yep, this is where Becky closes her eyes. Appears that Nick got just a little bit loose. Let me get a little bit of a better angle down onto there. Appears Nick got a little bit loose. 13 into the number 24 off the 74. Almost sounds like we're playing pool. Wow, tough break, but I tell you what, great acrobats. Tough break there for so many drivers. Well, that will be 5 to go. We still may have a 1-lap shootout.
I think there's a little bit of net code there, because I don't see the 2 trucks touching here and sends them around.
That would not surprise me. Netcode does abound. Pretty sure Nick will stay out. I'm not sure if the 74 had much damage, if he'll have to go in or not. I'm not even sure how many drivers are going to be able to return to this field. We're showing 5. It does appear that Nick Reynolds will be staying out, Jack Watts staying out, Wesley staying out as well. Edward Bray up into 4th position. Dave Acacia up there in the front. Four to go. We should get a 1-lap shootout, Mike.
I'm still looking at this replay here.
Joel Guy into pit row, getting caught up into it, as well as Lee Staples. Mark Jackson seemed to have survived it. Good job there for Mark Jackson. But I tell you what, they were racing, and they were racing hard right there. But, you know, a little bit of that bumper hook, that's all it takes. We've seen 3 of those bumper hooks out here tonight causing disaster, and 2 big ones.
And I actually watched that accident from the 2 cars that caused it, and they did not touch. It was net code.
No touch, net code. All righty. Appreciate the verification on that. I have to get that back to the race officials. A couple of them might be scratching their head, but it's good to know that it was caused by net code rather than driver error. Not sure if Joel Guy is out for the evening or not. He is in pit row. How about it, Joel Guy? You got a copy?
I got a copy on you, Scott.
Are you dead in the water, sir?
Yes, I'm dead in the water. I got about 10 minutes of repair left.
Alrighty, tough break for you. I did have a little bit of information I wanted you to relay on to the admins. Michael did review that with a couple of different camera angles, and netcode. Netcode has finally reared its ugly head here at Talladega.
I'll definitely relay that on to them, Scott, and let them know.
Alrighty, but you are dead in the water. How was your race up until lap 95?
Up until lap 95, I was doing pretty good.
Alrighty, you were looking very good out there. We didn't get a chance to talk to you about the truck, but you looked good. We got some good shots of the truck. Talk to me about the truck.
Well, it's my pad truck, and since this is October, it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I've got the pink bows on it for that.
Very nice, and you're absolutely correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep not only PAD, but breast cancer awareness in mind. And Joel, I'll let you get back, and good luck. Well, appreciate having you here.
All right, Scott.
Tough break there for Joel Guy. October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Husbands, be sure to encourage your wives to go get themselves checked. Booby is a terrible thing to waste, that is for sure. I will definitely be mentioning that to my wife. We are on 3 to go underneath our 5th caution of the night. Still thinking we're going to get that 1-lap shootout, Mike.
It could happen here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of coughing right now.
Copy that, copy that. Nick Reynolds, Jack Watts, Wesley Whitfield, Edward Bray, Dave Acacia, Gary Whitmer in 6th, Ben Gear in 7th, Mark Jackson 1 lap down in 8th position here at the monthly Race for Pad. Appreciate the fans hanging out with us. Could have done without 4 of these 5 cautions, that's for sure, but I tell you what, we got some good shots of those cautions. Had 2 major big ones, if you will, but we've seen a lot of hard fighting out here, And I got to give hats off to Nick and Jack. They have fought hard. They have fought clean. Edward Bray has worked himself back from 2 laps down to position 4. David Casia has been a front runner. Gary Whitmer's been up here at the front. Mark Jackson gave it everything he had, but just not quite enough out here tonight. And Everett Lane, I think he's dead in the water, but Everett leading 36 laps out here tonight. That in itself is an accomplishment.
Yeah, Everett is actually out of the race. He loaded his truck up on the trailer, and they're pulling out right now.
Tough break there for Everett, but did a great job. And he looked so good doing it there in the Nicky Clenny in memory of. He did a great job out here. He looked good, but what a way to end his night. Lap 98 of 100. Drivers are beginning to double up. If we do have a shootout, it will be a 1-lap shootout. Lights are off on the pace car. Don't believe there's a mark on that number 54 over the top southeast. Nick Reynolds did a great job out here tonight. Trucks are tightening up. Nine drivers left. 7 drivers on that lead lap. Lee Staples sitting in 9th position, 2 laps down, but still out here. Mark Jackson 1 lap down in 8th.
We got a lot of strong trucks up here. This could get interesting on this last lap.
Pace car is in. We will be taking lap 99. Southeast Motorsports completely in control. And away we go.
White flag.
Nick had a pretty good jump there. That could be what he needed here to take this victory.
But the number 74, he just was not onto his rear end like Edward Bray was on the rear end of the number 77. Edward Bray pushing the number 77 for all he is worth. Nick Reynolds, Jack Watts doing a great job. Wesley's done a great job. Edward Bray has done a tremendous job working his way back from 2 laps, but may fall just a little bit shy tonight.
And he just dropped him. He's down on that bottom line. 3 cars low, 1 high.
Edward Bray very tight with the number 77. And what will the 74 do? Will he stay true to the 54? We're looking at Nick Reynolds, Wesley Whitfield, and Edward Bray. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Reynolds will win the monthly race for Padd, and what a job done tonight by Nick Reynolds. Stay tuned for post-race interviews. Very impressed with Nick Reynolds and Wesley Whitfield and Edward Bray. We're going to get these drivers up here and get post-race interviews in with them. How about it, Edward Bray? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, copy, Scott.
All right, now you did pull out a 3rd position right there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All righty, you had a choice to make whether or not to be content with pushing Jack Watts, but you chose to push Wesley and get down onto that inside lane. It worked out for a 3rd place position. Would you have gotten a 3rd place if you would have stayed with Jack?
Probably not. Seemed like it was. I don't know if he had damage or what, but it seemed like I was just. I mean, I was pounding on his tail. That's for sure. So I decided to go ahead and at that last minute drop down on the inside. So I knew the three on the inside were going to pass him.
Alrighty, copy that. And final thoughts about Padd.
Padd. Don't text and drive. Don't eat and drive. Don't do it. I ride a motorcycle, and it's very, very disturbing. Riding next to somebody that their face is down in their lap, texting, or they're reaching over, messing with something. So don't do it.
Alrighty, copy that. Good information. Good job on the podium, Edward Bray.
Thanks, Scott.
Joining us in the booth now, Mike, is Wesley Whitfield. How about it, Wesley?
What's going on, Scott?
Well, how are you doing tonight?
I was doing pretty good. Had a good run tonight. Made me feel pretty good.
All right, so you're pretty happy with your finish up.
Yeah, it's pretty good finish. That was a good race tonight.
All righty, you did a hell of a job out there. Very proud of you, sir. Talk to me about your thoughts on Padd.
Oh, it's a great group. Glad to get the race for them. Glad they put this on. It's a great thing.
All righty, and you were looking very good out there in the over-the-top paints and designs fresh off the paint line. Looking at the logos, we appreciate the support for Padd, Wesley.
All right, thank you, Scott. Have a good one, Southeast.
And how about it, Nick Reynolds?
Hey, what's going on, Scott?
What a finish for you, son. I tell you what. We were rooting for you up there. I am very impressed with the way you handled yourself out here tonight. You had a little bit of connection issues, and you stayed with it. You stayed true to it. You did a good job. Talk to me about the last 100 laps in 30 seconds or less.
Man, I've been up here in the front, a lot of times leading this Padd race with a one to go, and I always get wrecked out or something happen, I'm just glad I had teammates here with me to help me, Jack and Wesley. I don't know what happened to Mark. I think he got some damage there early on, but it was a good race, though, all in all.
All righty, and anything else you would like to talk to us about before I let you go?
I don't think my paint's showing up, but John painted me a new Padd truck. I don't think it's showing up, but
I got you in a yellow one with Southeast Motorsports.
No, it's supposed to be yellow and purple with Padd on it and Southeast on the hood.
Alrighty, copy that. No, my trading paints must not be up and running for you, sir. I apologize for that. But I tell you what, you look good in the yellow and black.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, congratulations, Nick Reynolds. Bringing it home for the race for Padd.
Southeast out.
Alrighty, folks, and there you go. We're going to flash you up some results here and get on out of here for the night. What a race we had out here tonight. Pretty good race. We had 5 cautions totaling out 17 laps, 30 lead changes, and what a great time to be out here in the monthly race for Padd. Here are your results. I am Scott Kolovic, and we are out of here.